Hi, do you know why we should engage with IEEE Young Professionals early in our career? Well, what is IEEE Young Professionals and how can it help us? IEEE Young Professionals is an international community of enthusiastic, dynamic, and innovative members and volunteers. Any IEEE member can be a young professional, and any member who received their first professional degree within the last 15 years is automatically considered a YP. Now, IEEE Young Professionals is bigger than you may think. It is one community in 10 regions across 183 affinity groups and more than 120,000 members around the world. So, why should we engage with IEEE Young Professionals, you ask? It is a place to connect and network with other professionals, enrich our career and personal lives, and participate in social events and activities. We can participate in many professional networks such as IEEE Collaboratech, IEEE email account via Google Apps, and take part in local meetings and online activities such as conferences and job fairs. We can also access the IEEE Center for Leadership Excellence for on-demand content. This really is an excellent resource to equip us with professional development skills. The benefits go on and on, particularly for young professionals early in our career as well as students. We can enhance our technical skills by accessing ebook classics, IEEE member digital library, Spectrum and Potential magazine, IEEE Explore, conferences, and more. Look, the bottom line is this. We can participate in exciting local events and global webinars for topics such as assessing emotional intelligence, fundamentals for leadership and ethics, heroes networking for engineers, survival guide for scientific writing, conflict management, negotiation tactic, and others. For all these great reasons, engaging with IEEE Young Professionals may be one of the best decisions that we can make in our personal lives and professional career development. That is why we should engage with IEEE Young Professionals.
Summit is broadcasted live on IEEE Young Professional YouTube channel and Facebook platform.
Thank you so much, Hafiz. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Kemudian kita Al-Fatihah.
This is a two-day summit which includes talks, forums, and panel discussions to address all students and young professionals.
Get the opportunity of giving IEEE to improve your learning.
Education is the largest in IEEE, spread across 1,600 plus students.
Now let's start the industrial forum.
So you must know that the material aspect of our robot must be biologically friendly.
There's a lot of societal problems that only electrical engineers and SDR can handle.
Yeah, it can be used in any application. So food, for example, the downstream, upstream to the downstream.
Welcome to my session. Okay, I'm going to deliver about resume writing and key for interview. Okay, so
From Malaysia, from outside of Malaysia, especially from Region 10, welcome to this career workshop. So today, I will be talking about IEEE job site. This is fairly new website hosted by emailed about the newsletter, and then for job seekers, which is what we are here for, and then we have for employers.
Some of the main platform that
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
So that is if you have the normal good, right?
So this feedback will be counted as attendance.
Alright, that's good. Alright, first of all, thank you so much to IEEE organizing committee.
Congratulations, Amijan, Hamja.
Many technology and innovation ideas, but it's important to highlight and engage in sustainable development vision.
So this material, it is a sp2 hybrid carbon that is arranged in honeycomb structure, and because of the structure, it is able to give rise to very interesting physical, chemical properties. And
so if you are researchers, you are not into the commercialization yet, so this is where you can share about your passionate story about your research, and then we try to reach you with the right partners for you to go to the next level. Alright,
yeah,
so I think
being a entrepreneur or being an entrepreneur, one thing that we need to have is we have to be very clear goal what we are going to get at the end of the day, and a resilience where we need to be able to stand at our feet as soon as we fall. Being a resilient is very important as an entrepreneur.
So interestingly, that you have been hearing since yesterday, we received 1,500 plus registrations from all over the world, which is the channel that I have mentioned to you, whether in comments or any of the program that you are looking forward for us to organize for you, which can help you, which can benefit you. So we are always welcoming the suggestions. Thank you very much. Stay safe, stay blessed, and I will hand over the session back to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all participants from all over the world. Welcome to the second IEEE Young Professionals Future Leaders Summit 2022, which is organized by IEEE Young Professionals Malaysia, and thank you everyone. Please give a big round of applause of yourself for joining and being here. Congratulations. I am Nur binti Osman from UniKL Royal College of Medicine Perak, and it is my pleasure to be an MC for today. For your information, this event is broadcasted live on IEEE Young Professional Malaysia YouTube channel, and you have any questions regarding this discount topic, you can type your questions in the YouTube chat box. And more excited, ladies and gentlemen, everyone adores beauty, and let us begin the occasion with a wonderful Quran recitation and a prayer from Huzaifa. Huzaifa, please welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Madam Shakila. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to all participants of second Future Leaders Summit 2021. I am Huzaifa, student from UiTM Pasir Gudang campus. So inshallah, I will read the Al-Quran recitation, which is Surah Al-Baqarah 2, verses 284 until 286. A'udzu billahi minasy syaithanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Lillahi ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard. Wa in tubdu ma fi anfusikum aw tukhfuhu yuhasibukum bihillah. فيغفر لمن يشاء ويعذب من يشاء والله على كل شيء قدير. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. صدق الله العظيم. إن شاء الله الفاتحة. بسم الله الحمد لله إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين صراط الذين أنعمت أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على الأشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم إنا نسألك سلامة في الدين وعافية في الجسد وزيادة في العلم وبركة في الرزق وتوبة قبل الموت ورحمة عند الموت ومغفرة بعد الموت. اللهم حرن علينا في سكرات الموت والنجاة من النار والعفو عن الحساب. اللهم أعن على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين ودخل الجنة مع الأبرار يا عزيز يا غفار يا رب العالمين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. اللهم إنا نسألك رضاك والجنة ونعوذ من سخطك والنار. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم. ربنا هب لنا ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. إن شاء الله تقبل الله منا ومنكم. Thank you. I will pass the session back to Madam Shakila. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Amin. Subhanallah. Wow, such as amazing, beautiful recitation of Holy Quran verses. Thank you, Zaifa. It's really made our day today. Alhamdulillah. Ladies and gentlemen, an event is incomplete unless it has a goal and why we are here. Did you know the importance of technology to humanity? Or can we imagine life without technology? That's why the summit aims for several objectives. To provide participants with the latest technical technology on the upcoming technology trends for the advancement of technology for humanity. To provide local members with an international platform to learn, inspire, and give back to the community. To provide an opportunity for future leaders to expand their global network, and then to increase the awareness of the benefits of being a member of the world's largest professional organization. And that is IEEE Young Professional Malaysia for the Future Leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, every organization is led by a captain, He comes from far away with full of hard work. Dr. Haroon Rashid is a Pakistani origin academician, technopreneur, and motivational speaker. He is a founder and director of Aspertopedia Academy. He completed his PhD in electrical, electronic, and system engineering and master in microelectronics engineering, both from University Kebangsaan Malaysia. And not enough with that, he has over 13 years of working experience with various reputable organizations locally and abroad. And he is an active member and volunteer of several local and international professional organizations, and also the current vice chair of IEEE Young Professionals Section Malaysia. The most exciting is he is the recipient of outstanding awards such as 2021 IEEE MGA Young Professionals Achievement Award and 2021 IEEE Malaysia Section Outstanding Professional Activities Award, and many more. For publication, he is an author of over 30 research articles and 3 books. He is a regular reviewer of IEEE, Alsphere, and Optica. His current research interests are in the areas of 2D materials of optoelectronic applications, thin film fabrication and characterization for renewable energy application, nanotechnology, solar photovoltaics, and the smart grids technology. Such a very wonderful bio. Please give a big hand to young berusaha Dr. Haroon Rashid, Chair of IEEE Young Professional Malaysia, to give his welcoming remarks. And please welcome, Doctor.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon to those who are joining from Malaysia, and good morning to those who are joining from the western side, and good evening to those who are joining from the eastern side. We are almost in the middle, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you from whichever region you are coming from. So let me begin. First of all, thanks to Ms. Nur for warm welcome. And let me begin my opening remarks by welcoming our distinguished guest today. We have 3 speakers. Our first keynote speaker is Professor Pierluigi Siano, all the way from Italy. And then we have Ms. Nur Atharah Kamarzaman from Pulau Pinang University Technology Mara. And then we have another speaker coming also from Malaysia, from Pahang, Sulastri Abdul Manap. So afterward, I would like to welcome to all the participants to second IEEE Young Professionals Future Leaders Summit. So this is the second version of Future Leaders Summit. We had last year the first version, and this year we came up with the second Future Leaders Summit. So let me just give you a little bit idea about what is this Future Leaders Summit and why we came up with this type of idea since I took over YP back in 2020. So here you have noticed one thing, that in my background also, this side. So here it's written in blue, future leaders. So whom do I refer to future leaders? Basically this term that I came up in most of our events, those of you who are attending and have attended in the past as well, I label the students and the young professionals as the future leaders, because they are the one, the future is in their hand. They are the one who are tomorrow going to work in industry. They are going to work in academia. Some of them might go into government. So these are the people, these are the future leaders. So basically our duty as IEEE young professionals, coming all the way what we receive from the headquarters of IEEE, that we are focusing on young professionals. So where we have the students who are going to graduate, and then we have the young professionals who are just graduate. So in the language of IEEE, whom we call young professionals, later you will hear more details from my vice chair. She will be talking more about it, but let me just quote it quite quickly, that the moment you are graduated until the 15 years of journey, so that is the moment we call all those group of people as the young professionals. Now you can calculate yourself when you were graduated, and if you are within that 15 years of framework, within the 15 years of time frame, then you are young professionals.
And if you are jumping to that, then welcome, you will be the future young professionals. So all of you, the students and then the young professionals in the definition of IEEE, they are all the future leaders. So basically this Future Leaders Summit, we came up with the idea that we wanted to provide a platform to all the future leaders with technological updates. So whatever new or upcoming technology trends in the technology field of engineering, IT. So we came up with this idea that we need to provide something, a platform where the young professionals or students, they can learn, they can network. But due to COVID-19, we had one drawback that we couldn't meet you all face to face. But thanks to the technology that we are meeting with a big number from around the globe through the virtual medium. This year we are using Zoom. Last year we were using StreamYard over YouTube. So thanks to the technology as well, and I sometimes quote that thanks to COVID, that which brought all of us together. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this chance to meet together at the same platform. Like today, we have Professor with us from all the way from Italy. So this is something that, I mean, you cannot get it when we have a physical session. So basically, what we are going to do today, let me give you a brief overview of that program. I'm not going to take your much time because there are exciting speakers coming after me, and they are the gist of this event. So first of all, you will have a session after me with my Vice Chair, Dr. Nadia. So she is going to talk about IEEE. She will give you a little bit of demo that what is IEEE young professionals and so on. And afterward, you will have the keynote talk, keynote session of today by Professor Pierluigi Siano. He will be talking about optimization of smart energy communities. And then we will have next talk by Ms. Nur Atharah Kamarzaman. She will be talking about off-grid solar photovoltaic systems for rural electrification. And afterward, last but not least, talk of today will be by Ms. Sulastri Abdul Manap. She will be talking about 5G wireless technology. So we are going to here cover up 3 mega talks from 3 different backgrounds and all about technological updates. And here is another interesting and good news for you. We will have a Kahoot session. So in the Kahoot session, and not only one Kahoot session, the interesting news for you is that we will have 3 Kahoot sessions. So out of these 3 Kahoot sessions, there are excited prizes. So remain with us. We will have Kahoot sessions with different intervals until the last moment of this summit. And in that Kahoot session, you will win excited prizes. I will hold here myself. I'm not going to tell you what are those excited prizes. It could be something very, very excited. So stay tuned with us. Do not leave us halfway. And most important thing, who I can anticipate that they can win in the Kahoot session, those who will be attentive throughout all the presentations in today's Future Leaders Summit. So because most of the questions are going to come from the session or from the talks that you will be hearing today. Now, this is an interesting thing that I am leaving to all the participants. Here, one more thing that I would like to focus before I hand over the session to our MC to proceed further, that in today's event, we have received around 600 registrations from more than 15 countries, including Pakistan, Malaysia, Afghanistan, Philippines, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nigeria, Iraq, Indonesia, and of course, Malaysia and India. So we have around, so this is for our speakers as well, that we have around 81% students with us today. So you can talk to these future leaders in that way, which can really help them grow their career, grow their technical knowledge. So 81% are students out of all that 600 registrations we have received. And the next one is for our Dr. Nadia, that Dr. Nadia, today we have 85% non-IEEE members. So this is one thing that I am very happy that our events are being very successful, that non-IEEE people are also taking interest in IEEE events where they are coming from different countries. joining us and learning from us. So this is the thing that I planned, I initiated. This was my vision before becoming the chair of IEEE Young Professionals. And I am seeing that now IEEE Young Professionals Future Leaders Summit is one of our flagship events, and it is very successful. Last year, we had, it was attended by almost 700 participants in the live session. So I'm expecting the same thing this year as well. And we are live at YouTube as well. So without further ado, I would like to once again, welcome you all to second IEEE Young Professionals Future Leaders Summit. And I hand over the session back to Ms. Nur Shakila, the Master of Ceremony today. And I wish you all good luck, and I'll meet you in the Kahoot session afterwards. Thank you. Over to you, Ms. Nur Shakila.
Thank you very much to Dr. Haroon Rashid for the inspired welcoming speech with full of positive expectation today. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot of benefits of being as a member of IEEE Young Professional Malaysia, just as the opportunity to elevate their professional image, expanding the global network, connecting with peers locally, and many more. But the question is how to be a member of IEEE Young Professional Malaysia. Do you want to know the benefits as well as how to be a membership of IEEE Young Professional Malaysia from the right person? And are you eager to have an international global network at such a young age? If that's so, let's invite Dr. Nadia Hussaini, the Vice Chair of IEEE Young Professional Malaysia, and Executive Committee of IEEE Photonics Malaysia, to deliver her presentation. Please welcome, Doctor.
Okay, hi everyone. Am I audible? Yes? Yes or no? Yes, okay, great. So let me start sharing my slides. Okay, so thank you. First of all, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon to everyone that is present today. I am very happy to be invited by the IEEE Young Professionals Future Leaders Summit. This is our second one. But before I begin my talk today, which is being a member of IEEE, let me introduce myself. My name is Dr. Nadia Hussaini Zainul Abidin. You can just call me Nad. I am the Vice Chair of IEEE Young Professionals Malaysia. I'm also the Executive Committee of IEEE Photonics Society Malaysia Chapter, and I am also the co-advisor of the Optical Society Student Chapter of University Putra Malaysia. So I am going to talk about being a member of IEEE, as Dr. Haroon has mentioned before. What are the benefits of joining IEEE? How can you become an IEEE member? So stay tuned to find out how to do that. So first of all, for those, let me share my screen. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, now it's in presentation mode. Okay, so for those who are new here, what exactly is IEEE? So IEEE stands for the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. But does that mean that only electrical and electronics engineers can join this society? Absolutely not. So let's find out who can join this. How did IEEE come about? So the first, in 1884, the American Institute of Electrical Engineers was first founded. What was the aim of this society? They basically, for a group of individuals basically met in New York, and they decided to form the AIEE because they wanted to join an international exhibition, electrical exhibition in Philadelphia. So Norman Green was the first president of the AIEE. And then 20 years later, we have the formation of the IRE, which is the Institute of Radio Engineers. And IRE was modeled after the AIEE because they found out that the AIE was quite promising and they wanted something similar, but for radios. So the focus of IRE was on radios, and later on became, the focus was more onto electronics. So 50 years later, the AIEE and also IRE decided to merge their institutes together to form the IEEE that we know today. So this happened in 1962. So in 1963, the IEEE was formed with over 150,000 members, of which 140,000 were residing in the US. So at that point, the IEEE was not very global yet. And then in the next 50 years, where the internet was booming, right? So IEEE recognized that there is a need for globalization. So IEEE responded to this by becoming more global itself. By 2009, 45% of its total members were residing in 159 countries aside from the US. And the total number of members by 2009 were 375,000. So that's really a lot. And those are a lot of countries. So because IEEE is so global, how does it handle its members across the world? So IEEE organizes its members based on their geographical location. So IEEE divides the countries into different regions. We have 10 regions altogether. So Asia or Malaysia is under the region 10. And the structure of IEEE is as follows. So globally, IEEE is handled by the MGA board. The MGA stands for the Member and Geographic Activities. And under the Member and Geographic Activities, we have all the different regions. And region 10 is where we are at. So under the region 10, we have section. And for us, we have the Malaysia section. So under the Malaysia section, we would have council, we have subsections, we have chapters, such as the Power and Energy Society Malaysia chapter, and we have affinity groups such as YP Malaysia Affinity Group. YP stands for Young Professionals. And we also have student branches for the students. So under the student branches, we have UKM Power and Energy Society Student Chapter. This is just one example of the many student branches that we have. And then for the student branch affinity groups, we have the UPM, Women in Engineers Affinity Group Student Branch. So if you are interested, please head over to their search these names and find out where they are based at. So so under the chapters is tied to the IEEE societies over here. And the IEEE societies are managed by the Technical Activities Board. And then we have for the affinity groups and student branch affinity groups, the parents are the Women in Engineers, the YP, and also the Consultant Network. So the affinity groups are in one group, which I will tell you more about later. So under the technical societies, we have 39 and counting more. So one of them is IEEE ComSoc. IEEE ComSoc is very famous in Malaysia. This stands for IEEE Communications Society. We have the IEEE Computer Society. If you are interested in Computer Society, you are free to join them. And we have IEEE Photonics, which I'm part of. We have IEEE Power and Energy Society, which Dr. Haroon is part of as well. So we have so many technical societies, and it depends on your interest. You are not limited to one. You can join more than one technical society, but really how you choose it is dependent on you. It's dependent on what your interest is. And then we have councils. One of the example here is IEEE Nano. So what does council represent? So a technical council are a group of societies working together under a broad area of technology. So IEEE Nano actually under IEEE Nano, we can have IEEE Photonics working towards nanotechnology. We can have Power and Energy Society working towards nanotechnology. We can also have computational nanotechnology. So Computer Society would be relevant to the IEEE Nano, right? And then we have technical communities such as IEEE Brain, IEEE Entrepreneurship Exchange, IEEE Environmental Engineering. So these are the many technical communities that are available in IEEE. And again, it all depends on where your interest lies at. And for special interest group, which I mentioned to you before, we have Women in Engineering, Young Professionals, Consultant Network, and also life members. So life members is like in my opinion, it's like an honorary a club whereby the members are those who have contributed immensely to IEEE. So live members is not available to everyone, but only to those who have been awarded with so many IEEE recognitions. So in terms of membership rates, we start off with affiliate or student member. If you are a student, you can start off as a student member. And once you become a postgraduate student, you are going to be elevated into a graduate student member, but your status will still be a student member. If you do not continue your education after your first degree, you can become an associate IEEE or a professional member. So under the professional member, you have a regular member, and then you have a senior member. And then after you become a senior member, you become a fellow, and then the life member that I told you before. And so under YP, we allow graduate student members and also senior members to become part of YP. Now, the name YP is Young Professionals. Of course, the aim is always to cater this society for early career professionals and also budding students who will be transitioning to the professional career, right? So YP accepts graduate student member, and also senior member. If you are not a postgraduate student, you can join student branch chapters. So IEEE aims to deliver high quality student member experience for lifelong professional success. So when you enroll as a student member, this is what IEEE aims for you. And then when you transition to become a professional, you start off to become a young professional member. So the aim of IEEE to form the young professional is to help young professionals create the building blocks of a lifelong and diverse professional network. So you meet people of the same category meaning you just graduated your first degree and you want to volunteer. Basically, you meet people of the same level in life, right? So this is what the aim for Young Professional Society is. So how does IEEE help us to stay technically current? So IEEE has their subscriptions to IEEE Spectrum and also the Institute. These are technology magazines, and it is completely free once you enroll as a member. And IEEE also gives out discounts on IEEE Explore articles. If you are interested to read journals, if you are interested in technical documents and standards, IEEE can provide that on a discount. And then we also have IEEE.tv, where IEEE's internet television network, if you are interested to watch any of the recordings available on IEEE's website. And IEEE also, of course, as Dr. Haroon has mentioned, IEEE is a platform for professional networking, and we do so by networking within our local section itself, within the Malaysia section. We also network within the society chapter and student branch meetings and events. So you will basically meet different people every year. You will find out people that can help you grow. You will find out people who are willing to mentor you. So this is through IEEE. IEEE also has IEEE Collaboratec, and this is an initiative made by IEEE for mentorship program. So if you are interested, head over to Collaboratec and you can sign up for our mentorship program as well. And IEEE, of course, it is also a place or a platform for volunteers to share their passion in volunteering. So if you are interested to volunteer in events, in community programs, so IEEE is the place for you. IEEE also offers career development and services. We have a website dedicated for this. It is called the jobs.ieee.org. You can see the title over here, jobs.ieee.org. It is basically like Jobstreet, but it is under IEEE. So here, the companies that are partnering with IEEE, they are free to advertise the positions available within their company, and it is international. This website is completely free to both non-members and members. So feel free to use the job site as you wish. So if you are interested to continue your education, IEEE can also help with that. So again, I've mentioned that IEEE gives you discounts on conferences, gives you discount on publications, on textbooks. and you are also eligible to earn continuing education units and professional development hours, which you can put in your CV. So to view all the member benefits, please head over to ieee.org/benefits. So I haven't answered who can join IEEE. So there are two categories of people who can join IEEE. The first one is you can join as a professional. So professional, and I told you before that it's not necessarily electrical and electronics engineers that can join IEEE. So the designated fields that can join IEEE is engineering as a whole, computer sciences and information technology, physical sciences, biological and medical sciences, mathematics, technical communications, education, management, and also law and policy. So this is a lot of fields, and I'm sure that your field will be part of this somehow. And for the students, if your field of study is within these designated fields, then you are eligible to join IEEE as a student member as well. So if you head over to ieee.org and you go down to the bottom of the website, you would see these two buttons to join as a professional and to join as a student. So what are the membership fees like? So for the students, the membership fees is 27 USD per year, whereas for professionals, the membership fees are 85 USD. So this rate is only for developing countries. So if your country is not part of the list that IEEE gives out electronic membership for, then your rate would be slightly different, a little bit higher than 85 USD. So once you become an IEEE member, being part of Young Professionals is free of charge. So please join us. So if you need help to become a member, please do contact us. We are available on Facebook. This is our Facebook address, IEEEYP Malaysia. We also have our own email address, IEEEYPMY@gmail.com. And this is our website where you can head over and see our past events. So this is our team, IEEE Young Professionals Malaysia team. From last year to this year, we have Dr. Haroon as the chair, myself as the vice chair. We have Muhammad Hussein from the MGA acting as our auditor, I believe, and then Dr. Osman as our secretary and Dr. Yasmin as our treasurer. So please feel free to join us. We encourage students, postgraduate students to join us because we need new people in the team. All right. So I think that is it from me. Thank you so much for your time and attention. And I will see you around if you decide to become an IEEE member soon. See ya. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for the detailed presentation on IEEE membership. And I do hope you guys to grab this opportunity right now to join us. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe our energy doesn't stop here, and we will still want more and more. So it's time to move on something smart on technology. In our day, we use smartphone, smart key, smart switch, or even smartwatch in our hands. So why not we bring you to the real experience research in smart energy from the successful person. This professor is scientist director of the Smart Grids and Smart Cities Laboratory, University of Siano. Not enough with that, he is a visiting professor of University Johannesburg for Electrical and Electronic Engineering Department. And his research activities are related to the energy management and integration of distribution energy resources in smart grid, electricity market, and management of power system. Regarding publication and articles, he has co-authored more than 680 articles, including more than 410 international journals in Scopus. With 15,530 citations, and his H index is 61. Subhanallah, wow. And how about the awards? Believe it or not, he received the highly cited researcher in engineering by Web of Science. And this professor is the editor of the Power and Energy Society section of IEEE Assess, IEEE Transactions and Power System, IEEE Transactions on Industrial Informatics, IEEE Transactions on Industrial Electronics, and IEEE Systems. This is really exciting, and everyone please on your energy button right now to listen to the keynote talk entitled Optimization of Smart Energy for Communities. With full of heart, Professor Pierluigi Siano, please welcome.
Thank you very much for your introduction, and good evening, everybody. And I'm very happy to present this keynote at the second IEEE Young Professional Future Leaders Summit 2022 in Malaysia. And I'm very grateful to the organizers for this invitation. Today, I'm going to present this keynote titled Optimization of Smart Energy Communities. Now I share my screen. Can you see my screen, my presentation, right? In this presentation, after briefly introducing the energy communities that, as you know, are very important in this last period due to the energy crisis and the increase of the costs related to energy, then I will present some additional benefits that can be achieved by an energy community, in particular by participating in the ancillary services market. And then in order to carry out this, I will present an architecture that we have developed in the last few years at the University of Salerno for the aggregation of users in an energy community that we call, as you know, prosumers, because they can not only consume energy but also can produce energy if endowed with some renewable sources. And this work has been carried out in the context of an Italian pilot project, so where a community of prosumers can participate in the ancillary services market by using the flexibility of their energy storage systems. Then I will describe an innovative distributed parallelized linear programming based optimization that allows to optimize an energy community with also thousands of prosumers and to provide these flexibility services in the ancillary services market also in a privacy way. Then I will present some results and conclusions. As you know, in an energy community, we have different kind of users. For example, if we consider a community of residential prosumers, as shown in this slide, we can have that each residential prosumer is endowed with a local energy management system that can control some electrical load that can be shifted, like for example, the washing machine, dishwashers, or others like the boiler or the heater that can be controlled during the day, and also some storage systems, and is endowed with a local generator that can be like in this case a photovoltaic system. Other kind of participants in the community can be producers of electricity based on renewable sources or other kind of sources, and electrical vehicles, and all these prosumers can be aggregated and managed by an energy community manager that by optimizing the flow of energy inside the community can achieve some remuneration deriving by according to the recent regulation changes that allows to receive a remuneration due to the increase of the self-consumption of energy self-consumption inside the community. But also there are also other opportunities to save money. This comes from the participation to the ancillary services market by providing flexibility to the system operator. In the energy community, the prosumers can exchange energy in a peer-to-peer way to improve the energy self-consumption. Also, in this case, in this way, they can reduce their cost and can gain also additional remuneration. So, according to these new opportunities and this new model, we have proposed a new model, a new optimization model that takes into account the flexibility that can be provided by local resources that include small generators, also based on renewable sources that are endowed with small batteries. In particular, we focused on small batteries as the main source of energy flexibility in the ancillary services market. In order to not change the comfort of the users, we did not consider demand response at this stage, but it can be also included in the model, the flexibility. This additional flexibility due to demand response. By focusing on, we focused on distributed battery energy storage systems because they have some technical characteristics like a high ramp rate and faster response that allow to use them in the best way to provide ancillary services to the system operator. Also, in the last period, battery energy storage systems have become more competitive if compared to the building of new power lines, for example, or new power transformers. And this opens new opportunities for the participants in the energy community. Also based on a new European regulatory framework that has opened the ancillary services market also to distributed energy resources, including energy storage and demand response providers. And we have provided two methods to optimize the energy community because we need a planning session during which the energy community manager should evaluate from an economic point of view if it is convenient to offer this flexibility in the electricity market. This depends obviously on the local energy production. For example, if we are in summer and we have a photovoltaic system, we can store more energy in the batteries if compared to winter, and in that case, this energy can be used to provide flexibility in the system. And then, if in the case that the energy manager consider after the optimization that they had optimization that it is convenient to bid into the electricity market, ancillary services market, then if this bid is accepted by the by the system operator, then the system operator during the real-time session can ask the energy community to provide this flexibility. And if it is not delivered, it is subject to an imbalance cost. So it is important to carry out also the real-time optimization, because mainly due to the error that are due to the errors in forecasting the photovoltaic energy production or the electrical load during the day-ahead session. One important thing to consider is that according to the Italian regulation, actually there is a global constraint that impose to have at minimum a minimum regulating power of 1 megawatt during this provision of flexibility. But there is no limit to the rated power of a single resource. So as you will see in the next slide, we will consider these constraints of 1 megawatt in the problem. But also we need an Internet of Things based architecture to manage all the prosumers and to control the charging and the discharging of the batteries. For this, we have developed in collaboration with an Italian company an Internet of Things based architecture for an energy community or an aggregator, where we have that each residential unit is connected to a gateway, and is controlled by an energy management system. In particular, we implemented this energy management system on a Raspberry Pi 3 controller that is in communication with the energy community manager or aggregator by means of an interconnection layer that consists of a cloud server, a manager gateway, and a centralized database that registers the electrical energy consumption, electrical loads, the generation of energy from a local photovoltaic system, and all the data coming from the smart devices, some smart devices that can be included into the system and that are connected by means of wireless communication to the energy management system. Also, the user can connect to the energy management systems by means of wireless communication. And also the aggregator or energy community manager can provide some optimization and management tools. For example, here you can see some smart devices that we have connected to the energy management system that is included in this central device shown here. And these are all commercial devices that can be included into the system. And you can find more details here on the link of the company. And also some rules have been implemented for energy saving. For example, here you can see a smart thermostat and a switch to control a boiler, and some rules that have been implemented by using visual programming editor Blockly for energy saving. Also, in the case of lighting, we have implemented some rules for energy saving, considering a smart lamp and a smart sensor. Both these devices are connected by means of Z-Wave communication. Also, it is possible to implement a security system and a system with 2 smart meters shown here and smart plugs to increase the energy safe consumption from renewable sources to maximize this energy consumption. So this architecture has been then further developed to become a transactive management infrastructure for energy community manager, and more details can be found in this paper. The motivation behind the development of this infrastructure are that in the local energy market managed by an aggregator or energy community manager, prosumers and the consumers can trade energy and flexibility within the energy community in a peer-to-peer way, as also I described it before. But also peer-to-peer may refer not only to the energy transaction, but also to the information exchanges inside the community. And we can use a blockchain which enables peer-to-peer transactions in a decentralized way without the need of a central authority. In particular, a blockchain can offer a platform to host transactive energy markets where prosumers can directly buy and sell energy with each other. The decentralized control essential for transactive energy is analogous to the decentralized consensus of blockchain, and both share the target of opening and democratizing market. And the main advantages of a decentralized architecture of a centralized one are in terms of scalability, resiliency, adaptability, fault tolerance, security, and trust. The important concept here is that of the democratizing markets. And in this way, the energy community is very important because it can contribute also to elevate problems related to energy poverty in some specific zones. The proposed architecture is a hierarchical one consisting of a user layer, a communication layer, and the aggregator layer, or energy community manager layer that is consists of a data center, a set of servers. Then we use this infrastructure to manage the aggregation, the energy community I have described in the first part of this presentation. In particular, it is assumed that all prosumers are endowed with home device gateway and smart meter and energy community manager. And this architecture is considered for this aggregation. It consists of some layers that are the physical layer and the virtual layer. The virtual layer is a platform where all prosumers can access. The physical layer provides a grid connection, smart metering, and the communication to all prosumers. And the virtual layer also includes an energy information system allowing local site awareness based on real-time monitoring and on tools for the forecasting of photovoltaic production and load demand. By accessing to the virtual layer, prosumers can exchange all some privacy-preserving information related, for example, to their local optimization, because they can carry out a local optimization based on local information related to energy production or consumption. But altogether, all prosumers should satisfy the global constraints I have discussed before. In particular, the optimization problem to solve considered the remuneration due to the providing of energy flexibility, that it is that can be both in up or down regulation depending on the power we inject or absorb to or from the grid related to a baseline. The two events, these are the global constraints where the power should be higher or equal to 1 megawatt. And also in this problem, we should define the initial time and the final time. So the time range during which we want to provide this flexibility. Essentially, the time range is from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. because in this period of time, the flexibility is required by the system operator, and also there are some local constraints such as power balance, power limits from to the grid, and power charging, discharging speed of a battery for all users. Then the real-time optimization is very similar to the the optimization with the same objective function due to the consists of the difference between the remuneration and the cost of energy, but it is related to each quarter. Every 15 minutes, we should provide a new solution. And the constraints, the global constraints in this case are not disequality, but are equality, considering the accepted power during the day. Also, in order to define these discrete variables, defining the initial to final, defining the time range, we have some we have to find some discrete variables, and we can solve a mixed integer linear programming problem, or solve the problem in a heuristic way, as we have proposed. This new optimization, distributed optimization based on linear programming, that is scalable. It is based on hybrid variable neighborhood search and distributed parallel optimization. It is scalable and privacy preserving, and can be implemented by the proposed architecture. The main idea is to solve this optimization problem, including the constraint in the objective function, and to share the contribution of each prosumer according to the energy in its battery. More details related to the centralized approach can be found in this paper, while for the distributed approach, you can refer to this other paper published in 2020 in IEEE Access. For example, if we consider a case study in which we have 2,000 prosumers endowed with a photovoltaic system and batteries, we can see in this upper figure the state of charge of all batteries during one day in April, where up regulation is provided. The power of the baseline is this dotted line, while the power during up regulation is shown by this squared line, where you can see there is this difference that means that in this period from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. the aggregator, the energy community, is injecting into the grid, injecting power into the grid by providing the flexibility and by discharging the batteries. The same case study has been solved by using the proposed distributed parallel optimization with the same values for the objective function. And also it is proven that also during a real time, the optimization can also deal with the forecast error of the day-ahead optimization. As regards with the computational time, we have few seconds in the case of the optimization, and in the range of milliseconds for real-time optimization. Now we give some conclusions. We can say that linear programming based optimization, distributed optimization, can perform in an enormous real-time way also for large-scale problems, also by keeping by considering the privacy of prosumers, and the proposed methods are highly scalable and can overcome some drawbacks of centralized methods, and it can be easily coded up and implemented on microcontrollers such as Raspberry and connected to the implemented architecture. Here there are some papers we published in the last years. In 2022, we also published a new research in which we consider also peer-to-peer exchanges in the optimization. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any question, please feel free to make now, or you can also contact me by email.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Pierluigi Siano, for the insightful keynote talk regarding the importance of optimization energy consumption. Ladies and gentlemen, now is a Q&A time. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat box. Okay, Prof, we have the first question from Muhammad Asim. Okay, good day, Prof. With the injection of many energy sources, there tend to be problems with regards to the power quality. So how relevant are they and how are they dealt with? Also, how does this model affect the economic dispatch problem?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for your question. Yes, in general, we should consider this problem related to power quality, and there are specific devices that allow us to manage these issues. In particular, with nowadays with the smart inverters, so we can control the quality of the power quality, and also it is possible to, by controlling, as you know, the injection of active and reactive power by using the smart inverters, it is possible also to provide voltage control and also the frequency control. So in particular in the specific case with batteries, they are interfaced to smart inverter to the grid. So essentially there is no particular impact on this economic dispatch problem. Also because by using a smart inverter, we are able to control the devices to provide only active power, and also if required in future cases, in future application, also reactive power to provide support to the grid.
Okay, thank you, Prof, for the first question. We have another question from Ami Murai. Hi, Prof. What may be the advisable research directions for newbie in area like optimization of energy production or optimization of energy consumption? Thank you.
Yes, about research directions, I suggest to investigate this new topic of energy communities. I think also in your country you have some new application related to energy communities, because in this context of energy transition from one way and energy poverty and energy crisis, we need to invest in energy communities to make the users independent from the energy coming from the main grid.
Okay, thank you, Professor. Next, we have another question from Malcolm Isaac Fernandez. May I ask what software do you use to do MILP algorithm optimization? Is that MATLAB or Python?
Yeah, thank you very much. We implemented in MATLAB, but it can be also implemented in Python, translated in Python.
Is there any question from the floor to Professor Pierluigi Siano? You allow for another 2 questions for Professor. Okay, thank you very much, Professor Pierluigi for addressing all the questions from the floor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
for
very
inviting
much,
me.
Professor.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, bro. So let's take a short 5-minute break. And you guys, you can have your coffee and tea break during this time. So during this break, all registered participants can join the Kahoot session. And for this Kahoot session, please stand by with your mobile phone and use your real name for this game. Hope you guys will enjoy this session. We'll be having the Kahoot session led by Dr. Haroon. Please welcome, Dr.
Thank you very much, Nur Shakila. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So now we are coming to an excited part of this summit. Let me see how many participants we have over here. Okay, first announcement, if you are attending from YouTube, please come to join our session in Zoom, because only those participants who are inside the Zoom, they will be eligible to participate in Kahoot. And if you are at YouTube, there will be a slight delay. So I'm afraid that later on you will say that the question appeared late and I was not able to answer timely and so on. Okay, so the few rules and regulation of this Kahoot session is going to be like this. The first thing that once the Kahoot session starts, you have to, there will be a website link shared shortly by my team member in the chat. So you have to click and open up that website. Once you open it up, then you have to key in a PIN code of the game. Okay, you will enter in that particular game. They will ask you to enter your name as well. Make sure you use your real name. Okay, no nickname, no pet name. Okay, not any name of your younger sister, daughter, brother. Okay, so use your own real name, because this is what we are going to use to validate if you are one of the award winners. Okay, so the link is already shared in the chat by my colleague. Click on this link and you will be able to see Kahoot screen. You enter your name and then the PIN code will be shared by my team member shortly. So you have to enter that PIN code, then you will see that game. Okay, there will be 5 questions in this first round. Okay, we will display the question on the screen and there will be 4 options. So you have to choose. It's something like those who are from subcontinent, it's something like KBC. Okay, so if you know KBC, then you are for sure you are going to love it. I am not going to disclose what is the prize for the winners. That is a secret until the end of this session. So let's go. Miss Azni Linda, can you please share your screen to show the Kahoot screen first of all to the participants? Okay, so this is how the Kahoot screen. Okay, no, I think you have to display the other screen, yeah, the Kahoot screen. Okay, okay, she's coming up. Okay, so guys, enter to Kahoot and enter the key, the PIN code. Lynn, can you share the PIN code, please, so that they can enter the game? Yes.
We cannot clear. Your voice is not clear.
My voice is not clear.
Now yes. Now yes.
Oh, because there was another voice going on. That. Okay, so let me just repeat before my team member starts. So my team member, please just hold. Lynn, just hold on. Once I say start, then you start. Okay. So I repeat again. There will be 5 questions, and then you will be given 4 options to choose from. Okay, and you will have 30 seconds for each question to answer. All right. So with that, let's begin. Lynn, please start the question. Okay, here at your screen, the first Kahoot session of today. And here is the first question. What is the full name of today's event? Don't do Googling, okay? And here are 4 options. Choose the right option. The one who will answer fast will be the winner actually. If you are late or you will do slow, then your score will be quite lower. Okay, another 2 seconds. And let's see the scoreboard. 17 people have said the wrong answer. I am so sad. Muhammad Irfan is the top scorer with 876 and Hira Fatima number 2nd, Muhammad Ali number 3. Amazing. Okay, let's see they maintain until the last or not. So next question, please. Second question, what does P2P stand for? And here are the options. You have another 23 seconds. 20 seconds. Choose the correct answer. I have received so far 33 answers. Yes. A few more seconds. A few more seconds. And here the scoreboard is appearing on your screen. And 25 said the correct answer, peer-to-peer. Amazing. So let's go for the next question. Okay, before that, okay, Muhammad Irfan is still on top of the list and Muhammad Ali has come up. Great. So let's see. Third question on your screen, which abbreviation does not relate to smart city? And here are the 4 options. Let's see who has listened to Prof. Siano's lecture carefully. Only 28, 29. No Google. If you will rely on Google, then you will be late to answer. Focus what you have learned. Okay, another 2 seconds. And here we are going to see 13 people have said the right answer and 16 wrong, unfortunately. Okay, let's see who is at the scoreboard. Wow, Muhammad Irfan is still on top of the list and Ruslan has come up and Vijita. Okay, amazing. So next, let's see it. Okay, what is ASM? Okay, please, you find it out and explain here. Let's see who maintained or who scored up and beat Muhammad Irfan. Another 10 seconds. Choose the correct answer. Only 37 answers we have received until now. 38. Okay. And here is the scoreboard. 19 people have answered correct. So at least half of you have really understood what is happening. And oh, Muhammad got stepped down and Malcolm Isaac is number 1 and Pawani is number 3. Great. So let's move to the next question. Or was this the last? I didn't count. Oh, this is the last question. What are not in the IoT-based architecture in phase 1? And here are your options. Okay, this is very easy question if you are from power background or computer background. Very easy question. Another 10 seconds. 40 answers are already there. And this is the last question for this round. Let's see who is topping at the scoreboard. 18 people have answered correct. Amazing. So let's see the scoreboard. And who is at the podium? Roslan at number 3. And Muhammad Irfan number 2. And we have Malcolm Isaac on the podium, number 1 position. So congratulations to all of you. And the further instructions I'm going to explain after you will see this. So those of you who are winners, please take the screenshot for your and wait for my next instruction. So thank you very much for running this Kahoot session. And I'll be giving few instructions before I move the session back to the MC. Okay, so those who are the winners, the top 3 scorers, sorry, the top one, I forgot, sorry, your name, Malcolm Isaac, sorry, yeah, Malcolm Isaac. So please note it down, our email address. It will be shared in the chat box in a while. So you have to send your full name, your contact number, and of course, email address that you are using. So please send it to us before end of this summit. Okay, so you still have another almost 2 hours. So please send it to us as soon as possible. Then our team member will contact you further. So here is your name, Malcolm Isaac, and the email address is already shared, IEEEYPmy@gmail.com. So looking forward to receiving your email. If we didn't receive any email from you before end of this summit, and then we will be sorry, we have to pass on. Okay, thank you very much. And those of you who did not win, don't lose hope. We still have another 2 sessions. Okay, so listen to next 2 presentations, and then I'll be meeting you after those 2 lectures. Okay, good luck to you all, and thank you very much. Back to MC.
Thank you, Dr. Haroon, for the Kahoot session, and thank you everyone who participate in this Kahoot session. Don't worry, we have another 2 Kahoot session for you. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to second IEEE Young Professional Future Leaders Summit 2022. Please give yourself a big round of applause for still being here with so much energy. Ladies and gentlemen, last thing, if the energy sources is gone, what will happen to the world? What will happen to the country and community? Do you want to have an answer from our first technical talk? Let's get into her success story. She has been awarded with Research Development Grant Scheme in focusing with development output power PV system, and have awarded with Industry Linkage Grant. And guess what? She published in a few impact factors articles related to PV development. And now she is currently a senior lecturer in UITM and a member of Malaysian Board of Engineers. Besides that, her current research interest is in designing of great photovoltaic system and artificial intelligence application in photovoltaic systems. Sounds amazing, right? So without further ado, Ms. Nur Atharah Kamarzaman from University Teknologi Malaysia dipersilakan. Thank you.
Okay. Is it my slide clear?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, thank you, Ms. Shakila. Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to everyone. Our respected Dr. Haroon Rashid, Chair of the IEEE Young Professional Malaysia, Dr. Nadia Hussaini, Vice Chair of Young Professional Malaysia, distinguished speakers, and to everyone, thank you for tuning in today. I am Nur Atharah Kamarzaman from Green Energy Research Center, University Teknologi Mara, UITM, Shah Alam. Okay. First of all, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the IEEE Young Professional Malaysia for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to share about off-grid photovoltaic system for rural electrification. So this is my presentation outline. First, I'll just introduce about GERC, and then I'll give some introduction of the off-grid PV system in Malaysia, and then proceed to the technical design. What are the requirements that needs before we do the design of the off-grid PV system, and then I proceed with this system design. What are the step-by-step to design an off-grid PV system, and I will end my presentation with a conclusion. Okay, to start with, just a little bit introduction about Green Energy Research Center.
So this research center is a center of excellence established under the School of Electrical Engineering, College of Engineering, University Technology Mara, UiTM, Shah Alam, Malaysia. It is a leading consultancy-based center in green energy, particularly in the area of photovoltaic system. And this research center provides services like a consultancy, as well as research and development in the areas of photovoltaic system and other renewable energy technologies. So there are many experts in this research center that are actively doing the training, consultancy, and also research and development in both on-grid and off-grid photovoltaic system. And I am one of the postgraduate students in this research center, and my research is focusing on the optimal design of an off-grid system by using an artificial intelligence as the optimization method. Okay. I'll proceed with the off-grid photovoltaic system, particularly in Malaysia. So in general, there are three main reasons that contribute to the increment of electricity generation by using renewable energy sources, which are depletion of the fossil fuel, high concern due to the fossil fuel electricity generation because of the greenhouse gas emission, and also high energy demand due to the population, industry, and transportation. In Malaysia, it is targeted to have 31% of renewable energy generation by year 2025 and 40% by year 2035 of the renewable energy generation in the national energy mix. As the Malaysia is located close to the equatorial line, so this country receives abundance of solar irradiance throughout the year. Therefore, the photovoltaic become the promising technology in this country. So in Malaysia, most of the PV technology contribution comes from on-grid system. Therefore, there are a lot of programs that are developed by the authority in order to expand the electrical generation by using on-grid photovoltaic system. However, in many rural areas, these areas are further away from the grid. So expansion of the electricity to the grid is not practical and not economical. So by history, this area, they are depending on the diesel generator and kerosene in order to get the electricity for their household, for their healthcare center, for their schools. So by study, using the diesel generator as the main energy to get the electricity, it will contribute to first will affect to the surrounding environmental because of the greenhouse gas emission from the diesel generator, and also because of the cost of the transportation of fuel from the town to the site. So it will become expensive. So in this area, the off-grid PV system is more practical. So in Malaysia, most of the PV grid system are implemented in islands, in the orang asal villages, also in longhouse in Sabah and Sarawak. So this figure, as you can see, are the examples of parts of the off-grid PV system installed in Malaysia. We have Pulau Bangi in Sabah with 200 kilowatt power installed capacity. We have also in school, SK Tagibang in Sabah with 20 kilowatt power installed capacity. And in Sarawak, some of the projects Camp Kelabu in Bintulu and Talang-Talang Besar with 8 kilowatt with 8 kilowatt power. So these are parts of the off-grid PV installation in Malaysia. And all this figure, I fully credit, I took from the internet database, and I fully credit to the original sources. Okay. Okay, most of the PV grid system in Malaysia are funded by the government and also state government. For example, for the indigenous or orang asal village, and also for the longhouse in Sabah and Sarawak, the project of the off-grid PV system are funded by the Ministry of Rural Development. And for the rural school electrification, Ministry of Education Malaysia, they funded for the off-grid PV system for the school. And recently, Ministry of Health Malaysia also giving fund to develop off-grid PV system for rural healthcare center electrification. So we come to the technical part. So as you can see from this figure, this is how the off-grid PV system will look like. So this figure, from this figure, we can see that the off-grid PV system can be configured in two different configurations. And this configuration, how we can differentiate between this configuration is based on the interconnection between the solar panel and the load. Okay, so for the DC coupled configuration, we can see that the solar panel and the load is connected through a DC bus. So the configuration of DC coupled, it has PV connected to the charge controller. So the the energy generated by PV will be regulated through the charge controller for a safe voltage to be used for safe voltage to battery storage during the charging and discharging process. And the DC electricity from the this PV will be converted into AC for the using of AC load through a DC AC inverter. Meanwhile, for the AC coupled PV system, the load and the solar panel are interconnected using an AC bus. So if we can see from this figure, the AC coupled system, it has grid tie inverter. So the function of grid tie inverter is to convert the DC electricity from the solar panel to AC for the use of the AC load. Meanwhile, for the charging and discharging process, it is through a bidirectional inverter. Means that during the charging process, the AC electricity from the AC bus will be converted to the DC to store the DC energy to battery storage. Vice versa, during the discharging process, the DC energy will be converted back to the AC through the same bidirectional inverter to be supplied to the AC load. So, of course, these two kind of configuration, it has pros and cons. Okay? If we can differentiate between the DC coupled and AC coupled, the DC coupled, it has one inverter. Meanwhile, for the AC coupled, it has two inverters, grid tie inverter and bidirectional inverter. So, in general, we can see that there are only one losses from the inverter of the DC coupled system compared to the DC coupled. So in general, we can say that DC coupled is more efficient compared to AC coupled. Okay, meanwhile, for the AC coupled, we can see from this figure that the battery storage is independent from the PV system. So in future, if we have further development or the load growth, so it is easy for us to expand the system by expanding the battery storage while not disrupting the existing solar panel. So it has high flexibility of expansion for the AC coupled. But because it has two inverters, we can, in general, we can see that, of course, it will involve cost. So maybe we can say that AC coupled is more expensive than AC coupled, but it needs a further study to verify that. Okay. Okay, this is the basic configuration of the off-grid solar PV system. So we can see from this figure, the off-grid PV system, it has solar panel and it has battery as the storage. So we can say it form a PV battery system. Okay. However, in practice, the PV system can be hybridized with the other energy storage and another energy generator. For example, if we implement wind turbine into the system, we can form a hybrid PV wind turbine battery system. Also, if we require a diesel generator as the backup energy, as the backup energy supply. So we can form a PV, wind, diesel battery system. And in terms of energy storage, also we can further develop and we can implement hydrogen system into the system. So this we call as off-grid hybrid solar PV system. Okay. However, this kind of configuration of this hybrid solar PV will depend on few parameters and also the resources at the site to implement the PV system. Okay, and then we come to the technical design. As I mentioned before, there are a few parameters that we have to consider in order to design the PV system, which are the load demand requirement, site characteristics, technical factors, economic factors, regulation, and standards. Okay, in terms of load demand required. Okay, in order to design the PV system, we want our PV system will continuously meet the energy demand requirement at all the time with a cost consideration. So therefore, we have to determine what are the peak power demand from the load, what are the energy required from the load in the daily basis. We don't want our system to become undersized or oversized. Okay. For example, if we design our system oversized, let's say we design the PV system with 10 kilowatt hour, but the load required only 6 kilowatt hour. So there will be possibility of energy waste around 4 kilowatt hour. So this will not become a reliable system. In vice versa, if we design the system undersized, let's say the load required 10 kilowatt hour, but the PV we design the PV to generate only 8 kilowatt hour. So there is possibility of losses of 2 kilowatt hour. So the system will become unreliable. So we don't want that. We want our system always meet the what are the required from the load and the energy generated from the PV system. So, and another part is the site characteristic. So we have to determine what are the resources, as I mentioned before, how much the solar irradiation at the site. So this is the Malaysia map that show the amount of solar irradiation in this country. So we can see from this map, the more orange color is the more amount of solar irradiation in that site. Okay, this is important because different location will have a different amount of solar irradiation. So we need to know where we are going to install the PV system. From this, we can estimate by using the calculation how much the energy can be generated from the PV system. And then in terms of surrounding condition, so we have also to determine what are the surrounding temperature, what are the cell temperature. Okay, because of indirectly the temperature will give effect to the amount of energy generated from the PV system. And then in terms of transportation, for example, if we want to install the DC generator into the system, we have to think, we have to consider how to transport, because we know that DC generator, it is required, we need to top up the fuel, right? So we have to consider the transportation cost to transport the fuel from the town to the site, which is very far. So the cost will increase, and then and also we need regular maintenance to the of the diesel generator. So these are the things that we have to consider before we design the PV system. And the other aspect to be considered are the technical factors, which involve the system voltage. So we have to know the system voltage for our system. Okay, either we want to install with 12-volt system, 20-volt system, or 48-volt system. So this is important because of the decision of what are the the system voltage will affect also to the battery as the component in the PV system. Okay, and then the component database and the system brand and model. So this is also referred to the component. So as we know, in the market, there are numerous brand and model of the PV modules, of the battery, and also for the inverters. So we have to determine which brand and which model that we are going to use, because for different types of PV modules, different types of inverter, different types of battery will give different electrical characteristic and also different price, which will give effect on the technical performance and also in terms of economic performance. And then in terms of autonomy days. So autonomy days means that how long the battery can sustain to supply to the load without the PV. Okay, so as we know that our system is rely on the nature. So our source is from the sun. And we know that the solar irradiance is intermittent. So during the bad weather condition, maybe there is a time that the PV system cannot generate enough power to meet the load requirement. So we have to think how long the battery can sustain to supply to the load continuously. So this means the autonomy days. So in practice or in the design, so we normally put 2 or 3 days as the autonomy days. And then peak sun hour. Peak sun hour is the number of hours that a solar irradiance can be collected to be equal to 1000 kilowatt hour per meter squared. So this is the important parameters to accurately calculate how much PV energy can be generated from the PV system. And then we come to the economic factor. So we have to determine, okay, we have the component database before this, right? So we already have the component price. And also we have to know the budget. As most of the off-grid PV system are funded by the government, so the PV system installer need to design the PV system based on the budget allocation given by the funders. So this is also important because how much the budget that are giving for to design the system will affect on the battery capacity, will give effect on the what kind of inverters that we are going to use. So these are very important to determine first also. And the last one is the regulation and standard. This is to ensure that every PV installation are meeting to the policy and regulation and standard by the local authority. So in Malaysia, we have like in Peninsular Malaysia, we have Energy Commission, and also in Sarawak we have EIU, Electrical Inspector Unit, in order to regulate the energy policy or to monitor the electricity installation in their area. And then we come to the design. So this is the few basic step by step what we can follow to design the off-grid PV system. So this is to ensure that the PV is functioning by following what are the requirements. So first, we have to determine what are the load requirements. So what are the peak power demand and what are the energy required from the load. So how we can do that? So we have to study the load consumption at the area we want to install the PV system. So we have to go to that site. So we have to collect the load consumption and determine the load profile. So in my study, my load is the rural school, and the students at the school are staying in the hostel. So I have to determine what are their load consumption during the class hour and when they are staying in the hostel. So I have to determine every inch of the the electrical consumption, and I have to determine their load profile also. Okay, so this is important because of we want to design, as I mentioned before, we want to design an optimum size of the PV system. Okay, and then come to the step number 2 is the battery sizing. So battery is the important component in the system. So, and also this, we can say that this is the most expensive component in the system. So we have to carefully design the battery because it holds the function to store the excess energy from the PV system, and it will release back the energy to the load when there is a deficit energy from the PV, such as during nighttime or during the bad weather condition, right? So we have to determine carefully what are the size, what are the capacity that can be allocated for the battery bank. So not only that, we also need to determine what are the numbers or total numbers of the battery storage that should be implemented in the system in order to meet the load requirement. And in terms of its configuration, not only we can determine the number of battery storage, but we also need to determine how many battery can be connected in parallel. So, and how many battery can be connected in series. So in practice, the maximum battery can be connected in parallel is 3. So the rest of the number of battery should be connected in series. Okay. And then we come to the PV sizing. So of course, this is the source of the energy source of the system. So this is the main energy generator, which will convert the sunlight into the PV energy. So we have to have enough generation from the solar panel to meet the load requirement. So to calculate the energy generated from the PV, we need to determine first the peak sun hour, as I mentioned before. And then we also have to consider the dirts on the PV panel. So because we know that in the long term, in the long run, there will so much dirt on the PV panel. So we have to consider that prior to the sizing process. So normally we assume 3% of the dirt factor. Okay, because of there's no formula, right? There is no formula to calculate how much dirt on the PV panel. So we just assume around 3% of the dirt factor. And also we have to consider also the mismatch factor between the maximum power rating of the solar panel to its minimum. Okay, and also we have to consider also the cabling factor. So if we can see from this figure, PV panel is connected to the charge controller, and then it's connected to DC bus. From DC bus connect to the inverter, and from the inverter they connect to the AC load. So how is the interconnection? Of course, it will be using cable. So we should consider the losses from the cable. Okay. And then also we can see that the system, it has inverter. So inverter, it has its own efficiency. So we have to consider also the efficiency of the inverter. So these all are the factors that will contribute to the how much energy can be generated from the solar panel. And the step number 4 and 5, we have to size the inverters and charge controller in the system. Okay, so as I mentioned before, the function of charge controller is to regulate the voltage and current from the solar panel to the battery storage in order to use for during the charging and discharging process. So we have to carefully design the size of the charge controller, and also the size of the inverter. So this is the important component to convert from the DC to AC. And every inverter, it has its own power rating. Okay, and how much energy generated from the PV panel will be limited by the power rating from the inverter. So we don't want that we design the inverter oversized or undersized. For example, if we design our inverter, let's say 5 kilowatt, but our load require 6 kilowatt, which means that all the energy generated from the solar panel is limited by the power rating from the inverter. So we only receive the power as similar to the power rating of the inverter. However, if we design the inverter oversized, let's say we require 5 kilowatt, but the inverter size is 8 kilowatt. So this will involve cost, definitely, because of the higher the power rating of the inverter, the expensive the price of the inverter. So we have so our aim is to in the design is to determine the optimum size for all of the component in the PV system. Okay. And then the last one, the design must meet the sizing performance based on the evaluation criteria. So these are the basic step by step, okay, to design the off-grid PV system. Okay, and then I extend the system to the system design. So most in practice, most of our consideration is in terms of technical and economic, because we want the system reliable, but at the same time it is cost effective. So we in practice we normally we look into technical and economic where we consider the losses, how much power loss, how much energy loss, or if we design the system oversized, so it will contribute to the energy waste. So we study in terms of energy waste. And then in terms of renewable fraction, okay, let's say we have a system PV wind diesel generator system. So we want to study how much the PV and wind as the renewable energy are contributed into the system compared to the diesel generator. Okay, and there are also study in terms of autonomy days, how much the PV can give supply to the load without the PV. So we study on how many days that the system can sustain. Okay, and then in terms of economic, of course, this is the important criteria because it involves cost, it involves money, right? So we have to ensure that our system is cost effective. Okay, so we study in terms of life cycle cost, we study in terms of levelized cost of electricity. So so how much the energy generated from the PV system compared to the cost in the system, like cost of operation, cost of maintenance, cost of installation, cost of each of the component of the system. So it has its value. So we have to determine all this based on the levelized cost of electricity. Also, there is a study in terms of net present value and also total annual cost. In terms of environment, there are many studies on life cycle assessment, carbon emission. So this is mostly when we have the diesel generator as the backup energy. So we want to study how much the greenhouse emission, how much the fuel consumption, okay, from the system. And then in terms of social, there is also a study in terms of social. So social acceptance, how much the local community will accept the PV installation at their area. So and the risk, okay. So we have to educate the local community about the risk of install the PV system in their area, because of the PV system is installed in a long term, right, in 25 years. So we have to fully educate the local community in that area. And then, of course, with a new development, we'll create a new job. So we study also in terms of job creation. So these are the parts of the evaluation criteria. So, but there are many in study. There are many other evaluation criteria that are considered by the researcher. And then design methodology. So before this, I talk about the step-by-step design. So, but there are many other sizing methodology that are developed by the researcher in order to design the PV system. We have traditional method like intuitive, numerical, analytical. So what are the method that we are going to use will depend on the resources or the information that we collect at the site. And also the developer develop the software tools in order to make the design become easier. So the most of the software tools that are using in the study is Homer. And also the design of the PV system is expanding by using artificial intelligence method. So we use particle swarm optimization, genetic algorithm, and colony optimization, artificial bee colony, and many others optimization methods in order to optimize the output from the PV system. I can say that the research on off-grid PV system can be developed in various ways. For example, not only we focusing on the optimization method, but also we can integrate the PV system with other energy generator like biomass or energy storage like hydrogen system. So I can say that the research in the off-grid PV system is not stopped there, and it become more attractive if we develop more and more. Yeah. So I come to the conclusion of this presentation. So even though more attractive programs are developed for the on-grid application, especially in Malaysia, the off-grid PV application can be further developed and increase the number of installation in order to electrify the rural area and achieve high percentage of electrification in Malaysian people. Okay. However, improvement in terms of policy, education to local people, and research is required in order to further develop the off-grid PV system. So with that, I end my conclusion. If any further inquiry, also further cooperation in the future, you can contact me on Nur Atharah Kamarzaman through my email, and my superior, Associate Professor IATS Dr. Syaril Irwa bin Sulaiman, through his email. With that, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nur Atharah, for the knowledgeable and very impactful talk for today. So ladies and gentlemen, now it is Q&A time. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat box. All right, Ms. Nur Atharah, we have one question from Abdullahi Muhammad. Salam and very good afternoon all. During the technical design, how can we minimize the excess electricity fraction and net electric load?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Abdullah, for the question. So how can we minimize the excess electricity fraction and unmet electricity load? So as I stressed in my presentation, we have to determine what are the load requirement from the load. Okay, so we have to determine and study carefully so that our PV system, our design can meet all the requirement for the load to avoid the unmet load. Okay, so also in my presentation, I also stress in the PV system sizing. So I mentioned that we also consider not just the peak sun hour, but we also consider the losses, the derating losses, okay, due to the dirts, due to the cable losses, and also due to the mismatch of the maximum and minimum power rating from the PV panel. So if we consider this, so we can avoid the unmet load during the installation of the PV system. I hope I can answer your question. Miss Shakila, you are mute.
Sorry. Okay, Ms. Nur Atharah, thank you for for addressing the question. Now we have second question from Mary Kay Bright. Can you add more talks on what will happen if the design of PV system doesn't meet the sizing performance based on the evaluation criteria?
Thank you, Mary Kay, for the question. So in my study, I only focusing on the technical performance and also economic performance. So I study on the value of loss of power supply possibility and also in terms of levelized cost of electricity. So if our design doesn't meet the sizing performance, as I mentioned before, first is our system will become undersized or oversized. So this if we design the system undersized, our system will become unreliable. So which means that because our aim is to meet continuous power supply to the load, but because of this, our system is unreliable. So there will be a possibility of our load will not receive enough supply from the PV and also from the battery. So they will not receive the electricity during a certain time. So our system is not really efficient. And then in terms of cost, if we design our system oversized, for example, so of course we design a battery oversized, we design inverter oversized, we design the PV also oversized. So this will also will increase the cost of the system, because we know that the more power rating, the more capacity of the battery will give effect in terms of cost. The components will become expensive. So there's sort of undersize the system will affect to the system reliability, oversize the system will affect to the overall cost of the system. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Nur Atharah. We have another question. That is from Muhammad Asim. What are the criteria to decide which coupling model should be used? And what is the most effective EL tool in your opinion?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Muhammad Asim.
AI, sorry.
Okay. What are the criteria to decide which coupling model should be used? I'm sorry, but I don't have the accurate answer to answer your question. but it is depend on the load. In my opinion, it is depend on the load. So DC couple in most application, the DC couple can meet the load requirement with lower value of load requirement. But for the AC coupling, it is mostly used in the area that are more developed, which mean that we can which mean that the energy required is higher compared to the energy required from the DC couple. That is my opinion. And what is the most effective AI tool in your opinion? So it is a challenges to design the PV system using the optimization method through the AI, because of actually there is no optimization method that outperform than the other. So the optimization because of different configuration of the PV system will have different amount of component, different amount of PV, the different price of each of the components. So what are the type of the AI? Actually, it is competitive. So everyone want to show what that their AI proposed AI method is the best possible. So there is no outperform method lah, I can say. But we have to prove during our design that our the method that we are using can give a reliable system and with the cost effective consideration. That's all.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Nur Atharah, for addressing all the questions from the floor. Thank you for the participants for the questions also. If you have any more questions, maybe you can email to Ms. Nur Atharah regarding the detailed questions. All right, ladies and gentlemen, often we hear about 4G, yes, 4G, U Mobile 4G, NTM Unified Mobile 4G, Celcom 4G, and at the moment, Malaysia 5G network coverage are in Kuala Lumpur, Cyberjaya, Putrajaya, and selected areas. Did you know that YTL Communication launched Malaysia's first 5G experience store at Bukit Bintang, Kuala Lumpur to demonstrate their ultra-fast connectivity for 5G? And is that 5G important? How does the country view it as an asset? Are you ready to dive deeper into the information and learn about this topic from someone who has extensive expertise and now performing her PhD research in wireless communication, radio resource management, 5G optimization, and computational intelligence technique? She is an engineer with over 10 years of experience and previously working with MIMOS on wireless broadband R&D in industry. She is currently as a senior lecturer in University Malaysia Pahang. And this is absolutely great for us to know about 5G wireless technology from Ms. Sulastri, Manap. Please welcome.
Thank you very much, Madam Nur Shakila. Where are we? Okay. Okay. In FTKE, the faculty, we have three main research clusters: applied electronic and computer engineering, sustainable energy and power electronics, and instrumentation and control engineering. So I am in the applied electronics cluster and the wireless communication network lab, where our research mainly focuses on the wireless telecommunication design of antenna system and also on RF research. So for further details, you might want to check these links, especially on the UMP experts link, if you would like to check out the expertise from UMP. And we seek collaboration within the locals and also among international universities and companies. Okay, let's get start going with my content. So I will go through the outline of my talk. I will touch on the 5G background, its evolution, the applications, the 5G spectrum, and I will touch a little bit on the architecture of 5G and what are the enabling technologies for 5G, and finally on the 5G challenges. Okay, what is 5G? Okay, 5G, from the name itself, 5G is the 5th generation of cellular networks, where it is designed to provide 100 times faster than its predecessor 4G. So generally, it gives faster connectivity speed, ultra low latency, and bigger bandwidth. While early generation of cellular technology, 4G, the focus is on ensuring connectivity, while 5G takes connectivity to the next level by delivering the connection experience from the cloud, the clients, because 5G networks are virtualized and software driven by exploiting the cloud technologies. Okay, so generally, 5G is transforming industries like manufacturing, transportations, and also healthcare. And 5G also enhancing our day-to-day experiences. We enjoy faster connection. We enjoy better video quality and a seamless integration between our smart devices. Okay, let's look at some of the 5G requirements. Okay, the first one is on the user peak data rate, 10 gigabit per second for mobile. So if you are in, when you are moving, the user peak data rate is about 10 gigabit per second. But if under certain condition, you can get 20 gigabit per second, but in under certain condition. So that is for user peak data rate. For user experience data rate, 5G can give 100 megabyte per second in urban or suburban areas. And if you are in a hotspot, you can get up until 1 gigabit per second. So, okay, this is actually the, it's better than 4G, definitely. Okay, the third one is on the spectrum efficiency. Okay, spectrum efficiency in 5G is 3 times better than 4G. Okay, a spectrum efficiency is also called bandwidth efficiency, and it refers to the rate at which information can be transmitted over a given bandwidth. The next one is on the mobility. Okay, in 5G, the maximum speed that 5G can cater is 500 kilometers per hour. Don't know what vehicle is this, but probably high-speed train. So at 500 kilometers per hour, you can get the quality of service for user is guaranteed, and we can have a seamless handover between base station to base station. So, but for in 4G, the maximum speed that it can cater only 350 kilometers per hour. So next one is on the latency. Okay, for latency, latency in 5G is a fraction of a second, which is 1 millisecond. So to imagine how 1 millisecond looks like. Okay, the average reaction time for a human when we see something and we react, it is about 0.25 second or 250 millisecond. So for 1 millisecond is basically it's like a 5G react 250 times faster than human. Okay. The next one is on the connection density. Okay, 10 million devices per kilometer square. So this is where 5G can accommodate a lot of devices, because nowadays even everyone has more than one device at one time. So you have your phone, you have your smartwatch, you have your tablet, you have your laptops and everything. So the connection density in 5G is massive. Okay, and next one is on the energy efficiency. Okay, for energy efficiency in 5G, there is 90% more energy efficient from 4G. Energy efficiency is where how much energy is consumed per bit of information to be transmitted. So the more efficient, it means more number of bits can be transferred in one unit of energy. Okay, so next, lastly is on the traffic capacity. Okay, the area traffic capacity is the throughput of the user per meter square. Okay, the traffic capacity in 5G is the one that driving the network hyper densification, like a lot of it's a dense network with more small cells everywhere. So because we want to cater for very high data rate, so we need to have a lot of small cells. Okay, let's look at before I go through, so let's look at the 5G evolution. Okay, the first generation era was defined by the briefcase size mobile phones, and we can do short conversation between a relatively small number of people because there is not much channel can be used in the wireless communication. So it is limited, and the 1G, the first generation is in analog mobile phone system. And the main focus at that time is to have a mobile connectivity. You want to move around with your phone. So when we move to the second generation, we experience a secure and reliable communication channel from the digital networks. So in 2G, we can do text messaging through short message services, the SMSs. And later we had the MMS, the multimedia messaging services. Okay, next, move to year 2000. Next is in the third generation. This is where we get a fairly high speed wireless communication together with smartphones. So we get the data and the phone and the data requirements come together. Okay, so in 4G, together with the evolution of smartphones and also all the application and a lot of streaming platforms, the user data requirements are getting higher. We want it faster, we want it bigger, and we are connected to the internet all the time. So now 5G is completely reshaping both our personal life by enabling new use cases. In 5G, we have new use cases like connected vehicles, augmented reality, and enhanced video and gaming. Okay, let's look at some of the 5G key applications. So the three key applications are divided three areas. The first one at the top is the enhanced mobile broadband. This is where user can experience multi-gigabytes in a second. Some of the applications are 3D video, UHD screen, cloud computing, and augmented reality. Secondly is on the ultra reliable and low latency communication at 1 millisecond. So this is really important for the mission critical communications, such as those involving connected cars, manufacturing robots, remote surgery equipment, precision agriculture equipment, and so on. So next is on the massive machine type communication. Okay, 5G networks is designed to bring the level of performance needed for massive IoT. We have IoT previously in 4G, but for 5G, we need to connect more devices, more machines. Okay, so this MMTC will be the backbone of the smart city application. Okay, let's look at some of the applications in 5G. Are you aware that the global data usage in mobile networks videos, where most of the data is from videos. So this is reported by Ericsson Mobility Report. Okay. So the EMBB, Enhanced Mobile Broadband, will give a faster downloads and more enhanced capacity, which will allow many devices to connect simultaneously. So this table shows what are some of the data requirements for each video streaming platform. Like Facebook, it requires lower data rate, but if you want to see your videos, let's say you are in a house with 3 to 5 people and everyone is streaming and is watching their Netflix series on their phone or on the TV. So these are the data rate requirements, but remember that when you have a lot of devices simultaneously wanted to get this data rate, so you need to have a very bigger bandwidth and also a higher data rate in order for you to get be satisfied with what you are watching. Like there's no lagging, there is no delay whatsoever. So next application is on the healthcare use cases. Okay, 5G enabled remote healthcare, such as remote patient monitoring, where patients do not need to go to the hospital, since the patient's data can be monitored by the doctors remotely. The second one is on the connected ambulance, where the connected ambulance will act as a connection hub. So for, let's say, the mobile, the emergency medical equipment and wearables in the ambulance can give a real-time streaming data to the doctors who are waiting in the emergency department team at the destination hospital. So that is the connected ambulance. And another use cases is on the HD virtual consultation. So to keep in line with social distancing rules in COVID-19 pandemic, so the GPs, the doctors, this HD virtual consultation make it possible. Like you can practice this easily with 5G. Okay, rather than you consult the patient, the doctor consult the patient just through the telephone call, 5G can enable a very high definition virtual consultation where we might get a better diagnosis when we can share the images is clearer and the video is better and everything. Next is on the augmented reality or VR healthcare use cases. But the first one is on the assistant for the blind. Okay, this is to navigate the blind in indoor. So let's say you have this VR goggle, and then it can assist the blind to navigate in their environment. So the second one is on the distraction and rehabilitation therapy. Okay, this one is interesting. Okay, according to one research, the current research, the VR or AR can reduce patients' acute pain and potentially chronic pain by when the patient is being put into a completely different environment. The doctors can distract the patients from the painful experience. So these experiences might be maybe the patient is afraid of the needle, or maybe such as childbirth. So to distract it, we use this technology. Okay, with also the next one is on the remote expert for another thing is on the currently there are virtual reality technology is available, but mostly it is wired. So it makes because we want to reduce the lagging between all the components. So to ensure the latency is not there, so they use wired. So with 5G, the new 5G will get rid of that latency issue due to the URLLC, the ultra reliable low latency technology. So all the devices can be can simultaneously work together, work seamlessly, wirelessly. Okay. And also doctors and medical students also get training and education. Also, they use VR to simulate operations, which allow them to maybe practice before any surgery. Okay. Also, the third application is on the smart city. Okay. 5G brings infrastructure and technology together to improve the quality of life for people in the city. So the key technology for smart city is IoT, and it allows like smart fridges, your self-driving cars. So in the future, so you have smart speakers, smart home, and more devices to connect each other through the internet. And also smart cities use sensors, actuators, and other technologies to connect components across the entire city. So another one, the benefits of smart city is real-time monitoring, energy usage, traffic flow, and also public safety. With the recent event in the South Korea with the stampede during the Halloween night, so if you can say that, although if you have a very smart city, but if the decision maker is not smart enough to monitor this, so it will be wasteful if we do not use this technology correctly. So smart city must come with smart city, smartphones, smart devices must come with smart people too. Okay, so next is on the 5G spectrum. Okay, there are two parts for the 5G spectrum, the lower frequency and the higher frequencies. The lower frequencies is for full area coverage, where 5G coexists with the existing deployment, because we already have 1G, 2G, 3G, and 4G. So while for the higher frequencies, okay, you can see here the four, there are two parts. So while for the higher frequency, they are for the extreme traffic capacity and data rates in the dense deployment. However, if you want to use the higher frequency, the deployment will be more challenging, because the higher frequency has a propagation properties, higher propagation loss. So we call this is where it comes the millimeter wave. The higher frequency is the millimeter wave. Okay, these are some of the 5G global spectrum. As you can see, different countries has they allocated spectrum differently. So, but although they are different, but the range is quite similar. So if you can see from here, the first one is the band used by the US, where the first frequency used for 5G is 600 megahertz. The second range is on the 3.5 gigahertz, and in the millimeter wave range is about 27.5 to 28.35 gigahertz. In European countries, they use different range. But if you can see, it is still about similar value. It is in the similar range. For Malaysia, we follow the European standard. So I will talk about Malaysia next. Okay, 5G spectrum in Malaysia. In Malaysia, there are two frequency range. Main one, as per rolled out by Atharah Communication, this is MCMC, by MCMC, Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission. So there are three main frequencies. The first one is at the lower frequency, the lowest frequency at 700 megahertz. And the second band is at 3.4 to 3.6 gigahertz. And for the millimeter wave, it is at 24.9 to 28.1 gigahertz. Okay, so for 700 megahertz, although it looks like It is lower frequency, but these give wider coverage, and the benefits of this frequency is it can be used across various geographies. Like if you are in rural area, you are in Sabah, Sarawak, these are it will give you better coverage and also higher data rate even compared to in 4G range. So the 26 or 28 gigahertz band is to support the large bandwidth and high data rates, which are ideal for increasing the capacity of wireless networks. For the 3.5 gigahertz, this is like a different, like what we are currently using in 4G, we use 2.4 gigahertz. So in 5G, we use 3.5 gigahertz. It contributes to the critical portion of the spectrum for mobile broadband, where this is where we balance between you want the coverage to be wide and you want it to be higher capacity than the 4G. Okay, let's look at some of the 5G architecture in terms of deployment scenarios. Okay. In the previous generation, you can see we have a lot of base station located far from each other. But in 5G, especially when dealing with millimeter wave, the deployment scenarios will be a bit different. So the first one is on there are about 6. So this I just listed 6 deployment scenarios. The first one is on the rural macro cellular environment. This is for rural area where it can provide wide area coverage, supporting with that support high speed vehicles. Okay, the second one is on the urban micro environment. This is for street canyon. So this is basically the deployment is along the street using the lamp post. So each lamp post will have the base station. Okay, and the next one is on the urban micro for open area. This is for urban also, but with base station below rooftop and level pointing towards open area. So you can see from the figure that there are few configuration for the deployment. So next is on the urban macro cellular environment with base station above rooftop level. As you can see in this figure, you have now the small base station will be not entirely you need a land to build up the big base station. So now you can like lease from the house owner or office building and everything. So now another one is in millimeter wave. It cannot penetrate buildings. It is prone to blockage. Even glass door, it cannot penetrate glass door. So a typical office environment for indoor office, you need to have another base station for indoor. Okay. So another one is indoor by shopping mall. So it is for a large multiple story building with open ceiling in the middle. So this you will see in 5G, you will see a lot of these boxes in buildings or lamp posts, just like the one that I saw in Cyberjaya. So if you drive through that road, you can see the lamp posts with the base stations. Okay, let's look at the enabling technologies. Okay, the first one is on the millimeter wave, one that I mentioned before. So this is actually the important technology of 5G because in previous wireless generation in 2G, 3G, and 4G, the frequencies used are between 2.4 to 2.6. But since in every generation of wireless communication, the user requirement is getting higher. This frequency can no longer accommodate all the demands. So therefore, we move to different, the only way to cater this demand is to explore higher frequency band. So as you can see here, however, when we move to higher frequency band, the attenuation is higher. Okay, just like in this figure, as you can see in the blue one, this is high attenuation, and we cannot use this for communication. However, there are some parts where attenuation is propagation loss is lower, and with this, this is from Rappaport. So it can be seen from this figure, 20 gigahertz, 38 and 70 to 100 gigahertz, 125 to 160 gigahertz, they're smaller attenuation. So the ITU, the International Telecommunication Union, has identified the frequency to be the frequency for 5G. Okay, another enabling technologies are the massive MIMO. Okay, massive MIMO, from the name itself, is multiple input, multiple output antenna elements. So you have a massive number of send and receive elements. Like you have a small antennas and a lot of antennas, and it can provide multiple simultaneous connection at one time. So when you have more signal path, more capacity can be provided. So it allows more users to be connected at the same time. So indirectly, it will produce, it will make the radio, the spectrum is used more efficiently. Okay, the second, the third one is on the enabling technologies is beamforming. Okay, what is beamforming? Beamforming is actually it is enabled by the massive MIMO technology, the antenna technology. So beamforming is a dedicated radio signal towards the user. It is very highly directive. It is towards that user. So where beamforming will identify what is the most efficient signal path to give to the user, and it can improve connection reliability, and it will reduce interference because it is highly directive. It is solely to that user, and it can improve the efficiency of the spectrum and also power. It can minimize power, and allows more simultaneous data stream. So for beamforming in 5G, it is very, very pencil-like beam that is very highly directive. It is for that particular point, but it comes with some challenges also. Okay, so let's 5G challenges. Okay, the first challenges that I want to talk about is on the mobile network operators itself. Okay, 5G, it needs the telcos need to install a lot of new infrastructure actually. 5G often relies on 5G requires a good support of backhaul links using fiber optics. So the deployment of 5G will highly depends on the availability of the fiber optic infrastructure. So because for 5G, the 5G often relies on high frequency wave to gain its speed advantage over 4G, because 4G is already fast, but we want it to be faster. But this also makes the wavelength shorter, just like what I mentioned before, the millimeter wave, the wavelength is shorter. So it reduces the distance that 5G signal can carry. The useful signal cannot travel far, because it is already make it into a shorter wavelength. So in order to make 5G can travel far, the network providers will need to deploy more antennas, more base stations to make sure the coverage is huge. So that's why the infrastructure is the most critical part to migrate from 4G to 5G. And in order to reach the 1 millisecond latency goal, 5G network imply connectivity for the base station using. So this is where when Malaysia decided to have 5G, you need to have a very stable and also wide fiber optic infrastructure. So not all areas in Malaysia has the coverage of fiber optics. So it will take some time for the 5G to fully implemented throughout Malaysia, but currently we have it just like Madam Shakila mentioned just now. We already have it in Kuala Lumpur, in Putrajaya, in Langkawi we have also, and also some of the state, Selangor, Melaka, but in the East Coast, there is only in Kelantan, not yet in Pahang, and also not yet in Terengganu. Okay, so next is on the challenges on the hardware. Okay, communications over millimeter wave frequencies. It is substantially different from the previous communication. So the impact of hardware constraint is bigger in 5G compared to the current in the previous generation due to the difference in the frequencies involved. So the increased path loss need to be compensated by deploying a massive number of antennas and a highly directional antennas. Okay, when I say a highly directional means the millimeter wave system are sensitive to angular mismatches. It's like even though a slight mismatch on the angle, the user cannot get the signal. So it demands a high quality analog components to tune, so to make sure that the signal is can be directed to the user correctly. So the next one is on the higher penetration losses at millimeter wave frequencies. I imply that beams are more prone to blockage. Okay, so this is where this can be mitigated by if we have an efficient beam scanning scheme. So this requires a lot of hardware, new hardwares, and these are the challenges that face currently in 5G. Okay, these are some of the references that I used for my presentation. And with that, okay, thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sulastri, for the interesting and super powerful talk about 5G wireless technology. Ladies and gentlemen, now it is Q&A time. If you have any question, please type them in the chat box. All right, Ms. Sulastri, we have the first question. The question from Nur Atharah Kamarzaman. The question is, what is your perspective on the radiation released by 5G to human health?
Okay, all right. This the point is, okay, the radiation from wireless communication is not only raised in 5G. Even in the previous communication also being raised, but as you can see, when we move to even higher frequency, so this is where people are afraid because these are new frequencies to be used. So my opinion is whenever there is not of course the research has been done to make sure that there is no the risk is not high for the users to use these frequencies, because it is still in the what do you call it, in the, if I can show, if you can look at the spectrum, even when you go higher frequency, it will be bad for the health, but this is still within the safe environment. So in my opinion, there is no, I will not say there is no risk, because maybe we did not find the proof yet, but each of the device for our wireless communication is already being tested, and so I would say it will be safe for now. So I believe so. Okay, so I hope I answered the question.
Thank you for addressing the question, Ms. Sulastri. We have another question that is from Suja. What are the URLLC specifications of drone networking? That will be the first question. And is it possible to real-time monitoring by the patient by 5G?
All right. For the drone, you are the ultra reliable low latency. Okay. Ultra reliable low latency in 5G, it is 1 millisecond. Okay. For the drone, okay. For the drone, I don't have the information, but in 5G, it actually caters not only on the land, it will also terrestrial, but it's just that I did not cover it in my presentation. So I believe if the drone is to be used in the 5G, it must have the same, at least it must cater the 1 millisecond URL the latency requirements. Another question is on what is another question from?
It is possible to real-time monitoring by the patient by 5G.
Oh, yes. Okay. In 5G, real-time monitoring. Okay. For monitoring, it's like when you have a patient at home, let's say your patient is connected with some of the wearables, maybe measuring the blood pressure, the temperature, and maybe sugar level and everything. So it can be a monitoring. For monitoring, there is no problem in terms of the latency because some of the data is not that big, but the latency 1 millisecond is critical for when you want to have like the remote surgery, maybe remote surgery, because you need it to be precise. So you don't want any lag. So it's like it almost real time. So for monitoring, it is possible. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Sulastri, for addressing all the questions from the floor. And thank you everyone for giving the question to Ms. Sulastri. Every start have the ends, but it's okay as we come to the end of the second IEEE Young Professional Future Leaders Summit 2022. With that, please welcome Dr. Haroon Rashid to deliver his closing remarks and having the exciting second and third Kahoot session after that. Please welcome, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nur Atharah. So I am sure that all the participants had a very wonderful session and they have learned a lot of things throughout this last 3 hours. We have exceeded a little bit from 3 hours. That's why I made the calendar schedule until 6:15 local time Malaysia. So since we are coming towards the end, but this is not the end yet, as MC said, we will have another 2 Kahoot sessions. So I expect all of you to remain with me and with us, all of us. We will have 2 Kahoot sessions, but before that, let me thank our honorable speakers who have spent their energy, their time, valuable time, and they have shared their knowledge with us, which is not easy thing coming from far place through virtual medium and spending time. It is not something that everyone is sitting for free. But thank you very much to all our honorable speakers, starting with Professor Pierluigi Siano. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrongly, from Italy. And then Ms. Nur Atharah Kamarzaman and Ms. Sulastri Abdul Manap, and our own Dr. Nadia, Vice Chair of IEEE YP. So thank you very much for giving your valuable time and sharing the moments with us. This is really not something that we were trying that how we can bring together all the speakers at one place, managing their time, how they can get together at the same time. So it's like a very hard thing, especially for the virtual event where the speakers are sitting in overseas. And not only that, even my own team, who is currently managing this session, they are not all sitting locally here in Malaysia. So I have as we have the speakers from different locations, we have my team also sitting separated, not only all around Malaysia, we have even the technical team is managing us from Bangladesh. So this is something that it's not so easy, but Alhamdulillah, with the grace of Allah Almighty and the support of all the participants, that we have conducted our second IEEE Young Professionals Future Leaders Summit successfully, where we had received a very good response from participants. And the most interesting thing that made me much happy, that we had more students who are interested in learning new knowledge, which they can give it back to the community. So after giving again another thank to all the speakers, I would like to thank to my team, which was led by CS Azmilinda Zainuddin. She was the key person for this event. All these efforts behind this event were not able to be achieved without her continuous support. And together with her, our secretary for this event, Nur Nabila, sparing her time to help us out. And then in the technical team, we have Mohammed Moinul joining us from Bangladesh. We have a time difference with him, still somehow we manage, and he has given the time to us. And then also some backend people, Mohammed Fikri is a PhD student, but he is also sharing time with us in helping out with this event. And of course, we cannot forget our young Ustaz today who has recited Quran in the beginning of this summit. Huzaifa, he is a diploma student, but he has joined us also from the south of Malaysia. So like you can see that the whole, even including our speakers, they are coming from all around Malaysia as well as all around the world. So getting people from overseas is also something challenging for us. So in all these, there is another key person, which of course I cannot forget. Without her, we cannot run this ceremony. That is the master of this ceremony, Miss Nur Shakila, and other hidden supporters, planners, and team members who are not upfront, but at the back end, they have been helping all of us, which help us make this summit successful for all of you. Now, here I have a few more announcements before we proceed to Kahoot. One thing that we will be sharing a link of feedback form, attendance plus feedback form. So those of you who are attending right now, please fill it up. Fill up with your honest feedback. You can also highlight our the shortcomings that we were not able to deliver to you in the proper manner that you were expecting, or what you are expecting in future from us, or what are some of the good things that you liked about the event. So your feedback is very much important, and this is not only the feedback form. The e-certificates will be given based on this feedback form filling up. So please fill up this one. The link is in the chat box, and don't go yet. We still have one part, that is Kahoot, and not only one Kahoot session, 2 Kahoot sessions. Okay, and importantly, do not forget to like, subscribe, follow, whatever at our social media. We are on YouTube, we are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, we are at Telegram, we are at LinkedIn, we are at Twitter. So everywhere you can find the name IEEE YP Malaysia. IEEE YP, the short form of Young Professionals. IEEE YP Malaysia. Just look for it and do join us. Okay, it's already in the chat box. Join us so that to get up to date from us whenever we have a new event. And importantly, as long as I am here or my team, so far we are conducting everything free of charge. We have never asked any of our participants to come and pay anything to us. So this is something which makes us unique. So if you are getting this unique opportunity, then support us being part of us. And if you are interested in terms of any kind of volunteering, maybe in any of the future events you would like to help us, do also let me know or let my team members know through our social media, or my contact details are here. You can scan this QR code on my somewhere here. Okay, so you can scan this QR code and you can get connected with me as well. So here I am concluding, but not concluding, moving to Kahoot session, and afterward I will be continually talking to you. So let's move to the second Kahoot session. Okay, so may I have my team member to please display the Kahoot. So everyone please get ready. Okay, it seems we have exceeded already the time. So Lynn, it seems we don't have further participants for this session. We have 59, so can start now. Okay, so with this, the first question is coming on your screen. 3, 2, 1. Here you go with the first question. Who is keynote speaker of today's event? Choose the correct answer, and hopefully you will be the winner until the end of this Kahoot session. So you have 4 options. Don't miss out. If you are attending from the beginning until now, then of course you know about it. And if you don't know, unfortunately, then it's a bad luck to you today. But no problem, you can still try for the next questions. And here this question ends over here. Let's see who is at the scoreboard. Still 15 people answer. Most of the people said wrong answer. I'm so sorry for the rest of you. Only 15 people. So let's see who is top in the scoreboard. Muhammad Irfan once again. Okay, Muhammad Irfan, then Amir Murad and Ume Kulsum. I hope Irfan you can win this time. You can be on the podium at the first position. Okay, let's go with the second question. Okay, photovoltaic system configurations are inclusive of, the options are at your screen. Choose the correct answer. If you have attended the talks, for sure you know the answer. And we have 44, 45 answers. That's very interesting. I'm happy with that. 54, 59. Okay. Very fast. It seems everybody know the answer. That's amazing. I'm happy that you have learned very well. Okay, here is the scoreboard. And 40 people have answered correct. And let's see. Oh, Nur Atharah Shah is on the top of scoreboard and Muhammad Irfan number 2nd. Okay, next question, please. Irfan, you can try this time. Hopefully you will be the winner. Off-grid hybrid solar PV system configuration consists below except. Focus on the question. Yeah, we have already given the hint. Okay, counting the answers. This time everyone is very fast. Okay, another 13 seconds and we have almost received all the answers. Everybody has done the question solved. 59, okay, that's awesome. Another 3 seconds. And let's see what is the correct answer. 34 have answered correct. And at the scoreboard, we have, okay, scoreboard is not changed. Nur Atharah is still on the top score. Okay, Muhammad Irfan 2nd. Okay, all right, let's see. The 4th question, please. This is the second last question. Which of the following is not needed for the PV sizing calculation? Very easy question. It's luckily or unluckily, we made very easy questions for you. If you have attended, then for sure you know the answer. Okay, 50-50. Okay. If my team members are hearing me, then you see that next time we have to come up with tough questions. You see, time is there and everybody answered. Great. After 1 second, we will know now the correct answer is the rainy hours. 36 answered that. Correct. Next, at the scoreboard, we still have Nur Atharah Shah on the top of the scoreboard. Muhammad Irfan number 2nd, Abhi Vistar number 3 climbed up. Last question of this Kahoot session. Next question, please. Aspect that is not to be considered when installing PV in off-grid area. Off off-grid area for installing PV. Choose the correct answer. Very easy, this one as well. Very basic questions. 48. Wow. Seems everyone has attended the talk throughout from beginning to end, or maybe our questions are very, very easy. Okay. And 27 has answered correct, 15 unfortunate, and 13 also unfortunate. Let's see who is at the podium. Number 3, Young CY, Abir Israr, and number 1, we have Nur Atharah Shah. Congratulations to all 3 of you, and number 4, Amir and Ovin. So congratulations, Nur Atharah. My team member will be sharing the details in the chat box. Please monitor that. We need your contact details. You have to email us. Take screenshot of this one. You can feel free to post it at the social media as well. So Nur Atharah, please send email. The details are in the chat box. Congratulations once again to Nur Atharah Shah. So guys, are you ready for the next session? Congratulations to all. Yes, congratulations to all. Now I'm looking forward who is going to be the last but not the least of today's Kahoot session. Are you guys ready, or you want to take few moments of break? Okay, please write in the chat box. I want to see if you guys are ready for the next session. Okay, ready. Asim said ready. So only Asim is ready. No one else is ready. Okay. Okay, I can see now all of you are ready. So now you know the rules and regulation. I am straight going, and the new pin code is at your screen. So enter this pin code and let's make it faster so that we can conclude and all of you can go back to your normal life after this event. So I'm looking forward to the participants. The new pin code is there. Rabia Ashraf is asking. Rabia Ashraf, there is a link. Also, you can see on your screen. Let me share. You have to click over here, then enter your full name, enter this game pin, which is at your screen, and then you will be able to participate in this game. So this is the last Kahoot of this year's Future Leaders Summit. Don't miss the chance to be part of it. Who knows, maybe you are the winner. So the pin is also written on your screen. It's 1942149. You can copy paste or can just have a look at the screen. Okay, we have 49 already inside the game. Okay. All right, so maybe in next 10 seconds, okay, someone is sending me personal messages. Please wait. You need to be very quick. This is the game. You have to play it quickly. And once again, if my team members are playing this game, they are welcome to play. But if they will win, they will not get the prize. Okay, if my team members are there. Now, sometimes last year during first Future Leaders Summit, we had speakers. One of international speakers, she said, "I want to play." I said, "Okay, you are more than welcome to play," and she played for many rounds. Okay, 65. It seems others are not interested to join, and they are not interested to win the excited prizes that we have kept it for our participants today. Okay, we are almost okay. So probably I think Lynn, another 10 seconds, and then you can just start on the count of my 3, 2, 1. Yeah. So 3, 2, 1. Let's begin. Let's begin the last Kahoot of this year's Future Leaders Summit. So this is third one. And the first question is going to be at your screen in 1 second. What does IEEE stand for? Very easy question. Very, very easy. If you don't know this, then it means you have not attended any of IEEE's event before. We have explained about this in the morning, in 2.5 hours ago by Dr. Nadia. Very easy, very simple question. 62, 63 good answers. That's amazing. So another 2 seconds and we will see the scoreboard. So let's see. Oh my goodness, 37 have answered wrong. So sorry, you need to know more about IEEE. And we have Miss Nur Atharah again on the top scoreboard. And we have Divakaran, and then we have K. Nikita. Okay, second question. Let's see if Nur Atharah can maintain. Okay, list below are the 3 key applications of 5G, except. Very simple and easy question. Testing your knowledge on 5G. Another 20 seconds. Now people are doing Googling. I can feel that. No worries, Nur Atharah. You can try again in the next one. You may jump. Who knows? 70 answers. Oh my goodness. Only 25 have given the right answer. The rest are all wrong. So sorry to hear that. Young CY is on the top scoreboard now. Okay, that's great. Nikita from third to 2. Okay, let's see. Third question. Which is the correct statement about 5G spectrum? The options are at your screen. I guess some people are just randomly clicking. They are just trying their luck whether it will work or not. If you read the question very well and then you know the answer, it is very, very close to the question. Easy. All questions are very easy. So let's see who is now on top of the scoreboard. Okay, only 23 have correctly answered. And now Nikita is on top of the scoreboard. Interesting. Okay, Irfan is trying to come up. He's at number 3. Next question, please. Question number 4. Which of the following are not within the 5G evolution? Which of the following are not within the 5G evolution? Another 15 seconds. Okay. It seems everybody knew the answer. We have 60 plus answers very quickly. And here is coming the scoreboard. 25 have answered correctly. And let's see who is at the scoreboard. Oh, Nikita has gone down. Young CY has taken the lead up. Okay, Nur Anugrah is coming up as well. Let's see who will come after the 5th question. So next question, please. This is the last question of today, of this last Kahoot round. Which of the following are 5G challenges? Which of the following are 5G challenges? Let's see. Here is the gist of the last talk. $50 answers. Okay. 60 answers. Another few seconds, and we will be seeing who is the winner of today. And here it comes. The answer is in the green. 24 have answered correctly. The rest are all wrong. I'm so sorry for you guys. So let's see who is on top of the scoreboard. Yes, please. Next, podium. At number 3, we have Nikita. Number 2, Nur Anugrah. And at number 1, we have Young CY. So congratulations. Finally, Young, you have made it. You have been trying in all 3 sessions. Here you have made it. So to all the winners of the 3 Kahoot sessions, the top winner, please get our email address from the chat box. Send us email right now. The time in local Malaysia time is 6:31. You have another 29 minutes by 7 o'clock, before 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Malaysia time, meaning next another 28 minutes. We have to receive your email with your details. If we didn't receive it, I'm sorry, we have to pass on. Okay, so please send us your full name, send us your email address and your contact number. Then our team member will contact you with the further details, how we are going to go through. So thank you very much, Lynn, for playing all these Kahoot sessions. You have been working so hard in managing this Kahoot and other things for this event. So thank you very much. Okay, are we almost done, or is there anything that we are left to speak? I want to see the chat box. Are we left with anything? Guys, I'm asking, are we left with anything? Nobody is answering. No, okay. Nobody asked me what the winners are going to get. Nobody asked me this. Yes, so you have to ask me. If you will not ask me, of course, I will not tell you. So if you did not qualify, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be excited to know what is the thing that the winners have gotten it. So the top winner from all 3 Kahoot sessions of this second IEEE Young Professionals Future Leaders Summit, they are going to get 1 year free IEEE student membership sponsored by IEEE Young Professionals Malaysia. So congratulations to the winners. That is something interesting, especially for those who are from overseas, because I know the dollar prices are now rising up and everybody is like, wow, how we are going to pay for IEEE membership. So if you were never an IEEE member, you have gotten the best chance this time to become an IEEE member. So out of 89% of our participants today, 89% out of today's total attendance are non-IEEE members, and you 3 are the lucky one among all of them, where you have gotten the free IEEE student membership for 2023. So later my team member will contact you if we will receive the email from you. But if you are not interested, it's up to you. I'm not going to come back to chase you. Okay, it's all up to you. So congratulations once again to all the winners of Kahoot session. And don't forget that next year, inshallah, we will come up with another Future Leader Summit. And hopefully next year we will have a physical one or maybe a hybrid one if the COVID doesn't disturb us much, though new variants are coming up in the market again. But anyways, in all that, don't forget to get in touch with IEEE YP Malaysia, because we have almost every month we have some activity. So you will get maybe more chances of getting into Kahoot and so on. So with that, once again, I would like to say thanks to our honorable speakers today and my whole team and all the participants who joined us from all around the world. With that, thank you very much. Take care of yourself, and I pass the session back to our MC, Nur Shakila. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Haroon Rashid, for the closing remark and absolutely wonderful reminder, and also the Kahoot session. Congratulations to all winners and all sporting and committed participants for today. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to express thank you very much to all honorable speakers, that is Professor Pierluigi Siano, Ms. Nur Atharah Kamarzaman, and Ms. Sulastri Manap, for your time, for giving us such insightful and interesting talk for today. Thank you to Dr. Haroon Rashid, Dr. Nadia Hussaini, and Ms. Azlini Zainuddin, and all hard work committee members. Thank you to all committed participants during all day with your high energy. We come to the end of event today, and I am looking forward to see all of you to join us in IEEE Young Professional Future Leaders Malaysia. We hope that you gathered lots of valuable information from this event. Kindly follow us at IEEE Young Professional Malaysia in Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube channel. I, Nur Shakila binti Osman from UniKL RCMP, would like to apologize for any flaws while handling this ceremony. Thank you and have a Have a great rest for all day. See you next time, inshallah. Thank you.
Nur Atharah to give the welcoming speech.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, it is my great pleasure to welcome all of you to the 2020 IEEE 5 minutes FYP competition.
Okay, for the next participant is Haroon Amar bin Khalil Azlan from University.
To convey a message. Audiences prefer watching a video rather than reading. So, if you want to convey a message, creating a video is the most efficient way to do it.
Application of deep neural networks in obstacle identification. Foreign objects in the way of the local.
Where at poor to zero air ventilation, they trap unnecessary heat, which can transfer into our living
from SSNA Power Consultancy, followed by Mr. Muhammad Asrul bin Muhammad Shahid Ali from Petroleum National Berhad, Dr. Aida Mustafa from UTHM, and our final judge is Dr. Bazila A. Tadiq from UniKL. For today's competition,
our government also had 150 million ringgit.
Had been relying on fossil fuels too much, and currently the amount of fossil fuels left in our country had been depleting significantly. What they need to do is just speak with the converter. The main component I have used is the voice recognition system. Then there's also the perception that science is hard. See, education is more than just reading and listening.
When both surfaces detects even the slightest temperature difference that oppose the other, electrical power will be generated.
We was able to apply the knowledge that has learned previously, scan images, and detect the disease.
Plantation site, where the farmers can have a clear direction to travel and to harvest the fruits with the shortest distance. The suggested
on a daily basis, whereby it directly leads for better wound care management conducted by government hospital even at the peak drought.
Highly sensitive to detect the small changes with simple and low-cost fabrication methods, as the sensors will be disposed of after use.
Dr. Basila, Dr. Aida, Muhammad Asrul, myself for just taking time to go through with yourselves on this, as well as we had our own discussions. And I would say from the results, just the feedback that came through was, I think when you look at presentations and approaches, something to guide would be to see it more from a practical approach versus being theoretical. And in terms of concepts and ideas.
The first IEEE 5 minutes final year project competition 2020 goes to congratulations to all the winners.
Congratulations to all the winners. Thank you for announcing the results. But at the front end, you might have seen our other committee members. So I would like to say thank you to all of them, and I would like to.
Ladies and gentlemen, with that, it marks the end of the first IEEE 5 minute final year project competition 2020.